for another day of React with Balkan people this time. Oh my. Balkan people internet. That is the title of the video for today. I have no idea what it's about, but yeah, let's find out.
People cope with hardships in many ways. Some people cry, others get angry, and some just give up. But not if you're from the Balkans. You
sad, but kind of true, I guess. This started off very intense, man. I'm just like, damn. That's not a Balkan accent. I don't accept the video. As if I have a Balkan accent. People place me all over the world, Jin. People don't know where the heck I'm from.
You may think you know the internet, but trust me, you don't know anything about Balkan people internet. One of the funniest and most interesting corners of the web is Balkan people internet.
Interesting? Interesting? I don't know if I'd call it interesting. More like, how should I define it the best? More like that corner, like, you know, this is fine meme, right? It's kind of like that. You just open the door and you just open the door and everything's punched. Everything's on fire and like people are kind of like berating each other, but it's all in good fun at the same time. It's kind of like, I don't know, two people punching each other while laughing at it.
That, in internet years, spans Balkan history, which is so in-depth that you probably couldn't cover it all in one video. But what you should know is that it consists...
I mean, you could have an 8-hour video, but... but it does take us, like, I don't know, 4 years of school to go through it.
Of some of the greatest empires in history, communism and fascism, religious wars, ethnic wars, world wars, and most recently, internet wars. If you didn't know, it's this region in Europe, made up of the following nations. And these...
Chat, look at this. I told you it's burning. You know what I said? This is fine meme. It's literally burning.
Made up of the following nations. And these nations don't particularly like each other.
Honestly, this part I never understood. It's like people not liking each other. Like, I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand it, right? Because I've never looked at someone and went like, because of your ancestors, I will curse you and your family and I will hate you. I always looked at it and I'm like, huh.
Here's a safe rule when wondering which nation is friends with which in the...
The graph of like, hey, these areas right here. He put Kosovo on the map. He put it with a question mark. He was like, maybe?
The Balkans. If the two countries share a border, they don't like each other. If they don't share a border, there's a 70% chance they don't like each other.
Kinda true.
One of the defining characteristics of the typical Balkan YouTuber...
If they share a border, it's constantly competition of whether they have rights to an area or they don't. Or as well as who speaks a language properly. If they share a language, it's even worse, man. Oh.
YouTube commenter is nationalism. But I don't want you to interpret this as a nationalist in the West.
Here in America, we don't tolerate
no, it's very different nationalism
Balkans,
here.
Nationalism is the norm. Due to the many hardships endured by these people, oftentimes inflicted by neighboring countries. When I say hardships, I'm not talking a trade agreement fell through. I'm talking wars, annexations, and genocides. If you get what I mean.
Bruh! Seen the word. I've never seen the word emojied. This is a first. What the heck, man?
To show you what I mean, here are some examples.
In gay Greece, home of sexuality. Long live the Ottoman Empire.
Bulgarians above all. Bulgarians rulers of the world. Bulgarians were invincible warriors. Bulgarians creators of almost all
Can I just say that the artwork slaps? Holy shit, that's some good art.
civilizations.
Now, you might see these as bad or hilarious, depending on who you are, but remember,
pretty
nationalism
funny.
is the norm for people who grew up here. So they took to the internet to share their disdain for each other.
To share their disdain. See, this is the part where I'm kind of like different because like I just like learning about culture. So like I love my country and I love sharing customs and things that we have and like how beautiful of a country it is. Like I think it's honestly amazing as a country, especially the geography of it is amazing, right? But like I'm not gonna piss on someone else's culture and country for it. I want to learn about their stuff as well. I don't know. I never got the whole mine is better than yours, right? We're not the same. We don't fuck goats. That comment, man.
Posting some of the most ridiculous and unintentionally hilarious comments.
Read this one. It's worth it. I just read the last part. Ah, Serbs and Albanians, wake up. We are the same.
Of all time, without a shred of irony. But if you know anything about internet irony, you know things tend to go in a circle. These comments were so ridiculous that people started creating archives of them in places like r/Balkan People Internet, which would go on to be banned for promoting nationalism, which is the opposite of what it was supposed to do. It was making fun of the nationalism. But this will be a theme going forward, trust me.
I'm like, since when is nationalism bad? I'm confused. I guess like if you take it to toxic levels or like being extreme, maybe, but like, huh?
The irony would be pushed so far that people would start parodying their own cultures, not just other cultures, which ended up creating one of the greatest and most influential
Nice.
subreddits of all time. Not just for Reddit, but for internet culture. They created r/2Balkan for you. This community took Balkan
for
People
you.
Internet and cranked up the irony to 1 million. The whole point of this community was Balkan people coming together to make fun of each other by
Oh my god. I like how Romania is poor gay with war crimes. Jesus Christ. man. Poor Turkey. Some
by
of these
parodying
memes,
their own
man.
nationalism, which in turn spawned some of the most
Oh.
iconic internet memes of this generation. The most blank in blank meme was widely popularized due to its use on 2Balkan.
Cloud, please ignore -7. -7 downvoted to hell. Oh, most empathetic Romanian. Oh, my grandfather, Turkish descent, had to migrate to Turkey from Romania. He talks about the cruelty of the time. Strong Romania. Oh, man.
For you. It also included parodying the stereotypes that were used by many Balkan internet posters. Now, you as an outsider might look at this and say, hey, these people are making fun of each other based on things that I'm not comfortable with, therefore it's not okay. But I present a counter argument. Balkan culture is nothing like your culture. First of all, it's normal in Balkan culture to make fun of people and to not take that personally. Second of all, remember all of these countries raise people to be extremely proud of their heritage and their roots because historically there is a very good chance they've been wronged by their neighbors at some point in the past.
Yeah, can you imagine going through being being decimated, having your country being split, torn apart, losing land, getting it back, being constantly poor and oppressed and abused, and like, yeah. It's like, people are used to it, man. People are just used to it. Oh.
due to the sheer volume of history in the Balkans. As a result of this, a lot of people would just avoid talking to anyone from a neighboring country due to the stereotypes they were raised on. Two Balkan for You flipped this narrative completely on its head by uniting people from the Balkans with one thing they all had in common: nationalism.
Nice. Just unite them all. Oh, put them together. Are you talking about Norway? Close, but no. Oh, to explain the nationalism problem, when people use that word more often than not, it means patriotism. Patriotism. I can't read. Nationalism in and of itself is a toxic ideology. The fact that this conflation happens by native English speakers just helps muddy the waters. Huh. Why do you think nationalism is toxic? Like, I don't think it's toxic. People liking their country or caring about it. That's very interesting. We don't like anyone, but we all love our country. That's very interesting because, like, I think the idea of caring and loving your country and your history and heritage and what made you you, right, is something to be cherished. Why is it toxic? Respecting your culture, respecting your ancestors, respecting your roots, right? And being proud of still existing here today, right? There's trouble in the Balkans. Tell me something new. Interesting. I always compared it to like nationalism versus patriotism in the same way, right? For me, it's like loving your country and your ancestry. I can understand like nationalists in the sense of like devoting yourself only for your people over everyone else. I can understand why you'd see it being toxic in that regards. Of course, like, again, I don't see the problem unless you're going extreme, right? Unless you're being super extreme about it, because patriotism can be exactly the same. You can love your country and do things for your country that is despicable. Like, both feelings can be bad and taken to the extreme. Extremism is never good. But people caring about their country and their people, right? I don't think that's necessarily bad. Feed your family before helping others is only a common sense. Fairly not. I mean, it's funny because people have an issue with others caring about their country's interest more than others, but yet they're fine with a company caring about company interests and assets. I'm very confused about that. Like, making a profit and lining one's pockets in the name of capitalism, that's fine, but somehow wanting the people from your country to stop being treated as bad citizens isn't fine, right? Like, what is the point of that? That's the part that I don't understand. Like, what is the problem with someone caring about their country? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
This video was made possible by Raycon. Look, you already know what Raycon is, so let me skip the formalities. Raycon's everyday earbuds have optimized gel tips for the perfect
The word nationalist was poison
meaning
after
not
World
only
War
are they
II.
comfortable,
That's the
but they
issue.
won't fall out. Trust me, I've tried. They also have
I mean,
over 8
communism
hours
was
of
also
playtime and
poisoned
32
by a
hours of
lot of
battery
people.
life, which is insanely convenient. Nothing worse than having your headphones
Especially
dying.
when you
The sound
hear
quality is
people
also
talk
great
about
as it comes with
communism when
passive
they
noise
never lived for
isolation
it.
and stereo sound enhancement. No more mom walking in on you gaming. They're also sweat and water resistant, built to withstand that accidental, oops, I left them in my pocket and now I put them in the wash. So if you want to take advantage of this deal and get 15% off your Raycon order, click the link in the description box below or go to buyraycon.com/ghostgum to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. It's this nationalism for their countries that they were able to bond over. Many users of Two Balkan for You argue that they would have never had perspectives on their neighbors and their upbringings had it not be for the subreddit, when in reality, they have a lot more in common than they originally thought. I guess you could say it was ironic, realizing they hated each other was the reason they came together.
That's kind of cute and silly at the same time. Like, we hate each other equally, exactly. Hate everyone and love everyone at the same time. weird to me because, like, yes, bad things happened in the past that were taken to the extreme, but that's anything. That's like saying salt is bad for you because you can die from having too much salt. That's like saying water is bad for you because you can drown. Like, having nationalist feelings and being an extreme person that starts war to eradicate everyone else that's not them, those are different things. Capitalism is bad when taken to the extreme. Everything is, yeah. Enemies to lovers. For real. It's just like very confusing to me to see people like look at Balkans and be like, nah, you guys have big issues. And then fail to see the actual issues that we have. Right.
But either way, they came together. One of the heads of 2Balkan for You has explicitly stated that if it weren't for the subreddit, he, as a Greek person, would have never met his Macedonian or Turkish friends. He claims that if the subreddit never existed, tons of Balkan people would still hold the same perspective of their neighbors. They were also able to turn up the irony and laugh at the people who took their nationalism seriously. So in a bizarre, roundabout, layered way, they cooled the tensions in historically one of the most tense regions on the entire planet. It's like cranking up the AC and the heat at the same time to achieve an average temperature. And it worked. Now,
It worked. Oh, man. I mean, that's very interesting, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know if the subreddit necessarily did that, because, like, for me, I just travel to those places and I talk to people.
you see, this perspective is a bit nuanced and hard to understand if you don't have a background in the Balkans. Although you could just talk to a Balkan person about that to get the perspective, but
You could just talk to a Balkan person. Talking? In 2024, communication? Nah. It's better that we just cancel it all and pack our bags, right?
it might take a second to realize that even if I don't like this, these people are okay with making fun of each other and being made fun of. Reddit admins do not think like this. You see, there's one type of person that no matter what, people on 2Balkan for You unironically hated. People from the West. And
Nice. Nice. They're like, united in common enemy. United in common enemy. Dude, honestly, Reddit mods, I don't know, man. They're all in their basement over there and just kind of like having a power trip and fapping over who can ban more people because they're justice warriors. It's like, I tried, man. I tried Reddit. It's very hard for me to put up with Reddit because the internet is a cool place, an amazing place, and then you have Reddit mods that just ruin it.
And nobody embodies the stereotypical, terminally online, babied Western person than the average Redditor. A couple of people came after 2Balkan for You, most notably the users of AHS, but it was nothing more than people just complaining, failing to understand the
2Balkan for You is riddled with nationalism, racism, nazism, transphobia, using gypsies. Yeah. I heard that's a big problem in some countries. You know when you have an actual gypsy as your neighbor and they tell you to call them gypsies because they don't accept being called anything other? And you are like going there and being like, they're using the G word. No shit, Sherlock. That's literally respecting your neighbor and doing what they told you to do and calling them the way they want to be called. It's like, you might not understand it. You don't live with them, but we do. Use the ts word on Romania. What? Țigani? Dude, like, I literally spent time with gypsies. And that's what they want to be called. You get banned? What is wrong with people, man? Some of the most famous gypsies, like Romanian-based ones, they literally went on television renouncing Romi and asking to be called that. It's so weird that people are like, nah, they're using the G word, it's a bad word. It's only bad if you mean it in a bad way. You get banned on Twitch as well. If they want to ban me, that's fine. Like, what should I do? Go to the family next door and be like, can you confirm what you want me to call you? That's what they want to be called. It's like, it's very weird to me that people are like, no, you can't say it. But the people that want you to call them that. At the end of the day, just fucking respect your neighbor. Respect the person. If they want to be called something, just call them that. It has nothing with being, I don't know, an asshole or anything. It goes against their worldview. That's so weird to me, man. It is so weird. Like, I'm not gonna call someone, like, insult them, right? That is the difference. When I refer to someone as a gypsy, right, like my neighbor, because that's what they want me to call them, I refer to them as that. I'm not gonna go ahead and insult someone using the word gypsy, because one, I don't think it's an insult. It's like someone coming to me and going like, oh, you're Romanian. I'm like, yeah, so congrats, Sherlock. You know my nationality. Wow, good job. If they mean it insulting, that's on them. That's on them. That's not on me.
Point of the subreddit, which wasn't to be mean or hurtful, but make fun of that. It was just a small group of Redditors though, so who really cares? Balkan for You did take some steps in changing the subreddit to be more advertiser friendly in order to not get it banned, such as changing some user flares and making sure no
Wait, this comment contributed to your bans. Soy boy. Wow.
user flares and making sure no unironic stuff got through. But this wouldn't stop them from the attack that was about to come. Not from the Reddit mods, but the Reddit admins, in particular one notoriously awful admin. Now, as previously discussed in another video,
awful admin. No worries, everyone makes mistakes, nice. Awful admin. I'm like, why are you putting the same word there?
so admins and mods are very different people. To understand this simply, admins are paid employees of Reddit, whereas mods are basically slaves. Mods are the ones who put in
voluntary. No. They're people that are taking a power trip, okay?
individuals banned, admins are the ones who get entire subs banned. Now, in doing research for this video, I got in touch with the head admin of Balkan for You, who had direct interactions with a certain Reddit admin. The messages between them perfectly paint the picture of why.
Wait. It's annoying when a tourist comes to ruin a community, kinda. It does feel like that, in a way. To a certain degree. The first mod mail by Tor? Important notification. A huge number of user flares violate Rule 1. This is not okay. I have removed user flares and you're not to add them back for any reason.
The messages between
straight up deleted every user flare, disabled them without warning, or even talking to us about it. You had a huge number of violating flares, and users were using flares as a mean to target one another. It's also good to keep in mind that it's a joke is not going to be a valid reason to allow hateful content of any kind. Hey, I think there's a misunderstanding. The subreddit is a regional one. The people we are making fun of are nationalists or racists of the same region the subreddit is based on. We're not spreading hate. We're criticizing our countries, which isn't a promotion of hate. The user flares were created by the first owner, but we kept them since they're printed into the culture of the subreddit. And in Balkan culture, it's a regional sub.
Perfectly paint the picture.
Damn, Jesus Christ. Whether this content breaks Rule 1 or not is not up for debate. Stuff being jokes doesn't make hateful content okay. No one said it's a joke, though. I feel like this person didn't even read. Being hateful towards people who live in a specific geographic area that other people live in is not a justification for allowing hateful content. Yeah. Hateful.
picture of why to Balkan for
They aren't harmful in any way. It's just so we can criticize our own countries. We follow all the rules. We want to cooperate.
you was banned.
Again, she didn't read our last reply. Yep, that's what I said. It's like, doesn't even actually read. You all had violating flares for so long and allowed users to add more colorful stuff to them. As soon as flares are enabled again, all the old extremely violating flares will show up, which means you can't have them. I'm confused by what are you saying? What do you mean? We don't allow users to edit them. What is violating flare? What are some examples?
So this
Jesus Christ, man. That's literally like trying to talk to someone that's like, no, you're not getting your toy back. We're sorry. Nope.
admin Chitor, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the one we're going to be talking about. You might know her because she got caught abusing her powers on r/place to erase stuff she didn't like, essentially defeating the whole purpose of place. Chitor had taken some issue with to Balkan for you, citing that the user flares were in direct violation of Reddit Rule 1. Here are the user flares on screen that they used to make fun of each other. You
Anal opinion! Gay Rick, gay. Romanian Gypsy! Oh, God. Dark Roach, oh my God. Montenegro's a sleepy Serb. Oh, the Mongol horde. Macedonian. Oh my God. Oh.
You can be the judge for yourself. Whether you agree these violate the rules or not, the mods had to agree to the conditions. The mods simply wanted an explanation on why they had their user flares removed, as Chitor had just removed them without giving them any warning or any heads up.
Agent G with the gifted sub to Macedonian 1. Thank you. Oh, those flares are great, man.
They explained the point of these user flares was to make fun of people who were using them seriously in the real world. They also argued that they're criticizing themselves, not others. Therefore, it's okay because everyone here is in on it. Either way, the mods said they'd be willing to change the flares if they got them back, giving Chitor what they wanted if they would just leave to Balkan for you alone. Now, if you look at the messages, it's clear Chitor didn't even look at the response and just doubled down, saying that their word was final and they wouldn't be getting their flares back no matter what. Because, I don't know, man.
Power trip.
Being the hero she was wouldn't stop there.
Yeah, like I told you, like freaking Reddit mods are the worst, man. I don't know why. There are some that completely ruin an entire community. Don't get me wrong. There are some that do very good job and like are actual MVPs and do well, right? But there are some on a power trip that you can't do anything.
Mentioned to Balkan for you was promoting hate and gave examples. The mods claimed that these posts weren't even promoting hate, and they also said they were trying to keep the subreddit as clean as possible, but felt they were being unfairly treated and given too short of a leash. They also pointed out that nobody on the sub was getting offended, who, keep in mind, were the butt end of these jokes, but it was a Western person coming into another culture telling them what was okay and what wasn't. They pointed out that the
Oh man. That's always the thing that baffles me when people go into someone else's home and they're like, this isn't okay. You need to change that. It's like, who are you? You don't know anything about the culture. You don't know anything about like what you're saying or what's happening.
Posts mentioned were against hatred. The whole point of them was to make fun of nationalists in the region by parodying them to a ridiculous extent. They also claimed that a Reddit admin should be helping them to make sure their community is within guidelines, not going on a power trip and harassing them because they don't understand it. They even asked for contact with another admin who didn't have the comedic understanding of a 4-year-old, but instead, Cheetor made it so every post on 2Balkan for You had to be filtered by the mods.
Jesus Christ. Bruh. To help you better manage the extreme quantity of hateful content. Extreme quantity of hateful content. Yes, God forbid you make fun of people that are extremists.
Keep in mind, it had over 100,000 users, basically creating a spam subreddit where no posts could be made and it was run into the ground. All of this eventually culminated in the deletion and ending of 2Balkan for You.
Jesus
A
Christ.
sad day in internet history. But the Balkan philosophy stayed the same until the very end. We own the subreddit, but we don't own the community. The community owns itself. And that was the end of Balkan People Internet for good. Just
was
kidding.
it?
These people have survived the strongest empires in
I
history.
was gonna say, you might remove the Balkans from that subreddit, but you're not gonna remove them from the internet. At the risk of someone getting offended. We're like cockroaches. We're everywhere.
And each other. You think some Reddit admin could kill them? Here is Balkan's IR.
Balkan IRL? Oh my god. Serbia bad. Oh my god. Fuck Brazil, you're going to Romania. Wake up, babe, it's time to bully Hungarians. Oh my god. The Tito car. Oh god. No comment. Ah. No comment. Yeah, but like, seriously. They balked at the font. Seriously though, it's like, you look at the internet and people making fun of dumb shit, right? And then you get offended that people are making fun of dumb shit that you don't understand. It's like, it's very hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. I think a lot of people could learn from actually learning about cultures a bit more. Oh. You'll ever put a finger in your ass? Good next video, right? We should watch that too.